Greetings of the day. My name is Lakshman Jajuti, Assistant Professor, GS College of Commerce, Varda. In this video lecture of business finance, we will move further with the theoretical portion of dividend policies. Now, we will move to the what are the different types of dividend policies which can be adopted by the company as per their needs and as per their requirement. The first one is constant percentage of earnings. In this particular dividend policy, what the company usually does, it fixes a certain percentage of their earnings or profit after taxes for the purpose of dividend. For say, it would fix 10% of earnings, 20% of earnings, 50% of earnings. For example, if a company is earning in and around for say 50 crores in a financial year and its constant percentage of earning for dividend policy is 30%. So out of that 50 crore, 30% means that is 15 crores would be distributed by them as a dividend to its shareholders. That is what is constant percentage of earnings. First. Second is constant dividend rate. In this particular dividend policy, the dividend rate is already been fixed by the company, and irrespective of whatever the earnings they are going to make, that dividend rate would be fixed for the share capital. For example, if a company is having 500 crores of share capital outstanding into the market and it has decided that they would distribute 2% of its capital as a dividend, that is rupees 10 crores in a financial year. Therefore, irrespective of what are the earnings, so it is important that dividend rate should be constantly maintained. Usually this policy is quite admired by shareholders because they are always knowing that what amount of return they are going to generate from their investment. In case of when the economy is in the good mode, our company is flourishing, the earnings are good, this policy is quite good. Usually when we compare with these two policies, that is constant percentage of earnings and constant dividend rate, usually the constant dividend rate policy is more admired into the market, and that is why the company following constant dividend rate policy has a great market price of their shares as compared to the company who follows the constant percentages of earning, because there is a fluctuation in the rate of dividend, whereas in the latter one there is no fluctuation. But when the profit is flourishing, this policy is quite okay. But when there is a declining nature of the profit, or there is some adverse situation related to our businesses or to our earnings, uh, this is very difficult to maintain the dividend rate. Hence, it is always been suggested to fix the lowest possible dividend rate or lowest level of dividend rate in the case of adopting of constant dividend rate policy. Third one is the conservative dividend policy. In conservative dividend policy, what company does, they gives only a small portion of their earnings as a dividend, and rest of the portion is retained by the company for the purpose of reinvestment, or kept as a retained earnings for its developmental and growth purpose. In this policy, whatever the minimum amount of rate of dividend which can be given to the shareholders is been kept as a rate of dividend, and rest of the amount is retained by the company. By this policy, usually it can be seen that the company can become themselves as an financially quite sound, and but the shareholders usually are not satisfied with the conservative dividend policy. Next is the liberal dividend policy. In case of liberal dividend policy, the company distributes major amount of its earnings as a dividend to its shareholders, whereas very less or negligible amount is kept by the company for the purpose of reinvestment, or as an what we can say retained earnings by them. That is what is the liberal dividend policy. Usually in this policy, it is been seen that dividend payout ratio is quite high, whereas retention ratio is very low. In this policy, usually management tries to fulfill the short-term needs and ignores the long-term goals of the company, and many a times they can go for difficulty in arranging funds if the firm is in speculative in nature. There are chances that there would be shortage of funds with regard to distribution of dividend in case of liberal dividend policy. Next is the sound or stable dividend policy. This one is the most admired dividend policy which can be followed by any of the company. In this dividend policy, this policy is kind of middle path from the earlier types of policies. In this policy, usually what company sees dividend as an long-term objective, as well as no important changes are being made into the dividend policies by the company. In this policy, usually an importance is then given to paying dividend as well as the future requirements of the company also. Usually the dividend rate is normally fixed in case of dividend policy, but they can alter as per the availability of earnings for the purpose of distribution of dividend. In the good years or in the good years, the dividend paid by the company is quite high, and vice versa in the what we can say normal or adverse years, dividend rate is usually low. In case of good years when the companies have good earnings, at that time usually company offers usually company creates various types of reserves which can be used when the years are adverse for the purpose of maintain when the purpose for the purpose of distributing dividend at a constant rate in the adverse years also. So somewhat we can see that a mid path has been created by using sound or stable dividend policy, and it is the most commonly used and admired dividend policy by the financial managers. Next is what are the advantages or what can be the benefits of adopting stable or sound dividend policy. First of all, shareholders are satisfied because they receive adequate amount of dividend in the year when the company is been earning good profits, whereas vice versa in the normal or adverse years, by the reserves if the company hasn't created, they can maintain the dividend rate, or even if the profit are not good with the company and they don't have various reserve lying with them, even though shareholders are satisfied because the earnings are low. Second, shareholders feels quite confident by this dividend policy because they are receiving a constant amount of return on their investment. Apart from this, third point is that there is a stability in the market price of the shares, because whatever the points we have seen or whatever the types we have seen in the earlier segment of this video lecture is not been followed here. Equal importance is been given to investment in the companies as well as to the distribution of dividend. Hence, market price are not fluctuating quite by the stable dividend policy. Then this policy is quite helpful in maintaining the long-term planning with regard to distribution of dividend also, and for the purpose of financial planning of the company also. If company is going to have the developmental projects with them and growth projects with them, definitely by this policy they can keep aside a quite large amount of retained earnings also for this purpose. Last one is there is a stability in the national income by this dividend policy, because usually company tries to maintain the constant rate of dividend by using stable or sound dividend policy. Last is what are the essentials of sound dividend policy. Very first thing is stability. Here usually company tries to stabilize the rate of dividend because this fluctuating rate can create the what we can say sense of risk into the minds of shareholders. That is why to create confidence into the mind of shareholders, stability has been maintained so that it would have twin benefit. First benefit, that shareholders would feel confident from the returns of the company. Second, the market price would be affected positively. There would not be any kind of negative impact on the market price. And bonus is that the company would have the funds as a retained earnings from this also. Second is it has been also suggested that there should be made gradual rise into the dividend rate so that shareholders can feel satisfied, because there is an increasing trend can be seen into the rate of dividend, which gives them confidence and mental satisfaction that we are earning more each and every year or after subsequent years. their rate of dividend has been increased by the company. For that purpose, that is necessary, that third point which is been quite important, that we should have a moderate start. There should not be heavy or hectic rate should not be declared as a part of dividend. The rate should be moderate, or low rate can be the admired rate for the purpose of starting with the dividend policy. When you are starting with the lower rates, definitely moderate rate would help the company to increase the rate when the earnings are going to increase. When the company has been starting, definitely they have certain financial costs and financial hardship. Hence, there should be lower rate of dividend. And as on when company gets financially established and sound, they can go for increasing the rate of dividend year on year as per their financial planning and financial needs. Then distribution of dividend in cash. We have discussed in the earlier lecture that dividends can be distributed in the form of cash, which is essential because it would not go for the other elements. So there is a practice also that company usually gives bonus shares as a part of dividend, but there is again a risk that there, when we give stock dividends, there is quite risk of overcapitalization which can be avoided, as dividend can be distributed in cash by seeing the availability of liquidity with the company. Then other factors which affect the sound dividend policy can be, it can be that dividend should be declared once in a year. Interim dividend or extra dividend can be declared only when there are huge profit available with the companies, and in order to increase the morale or boost the morale of the shareholders of the company. Then there can be that dividend should be declared out of profit, but after deducting the previous losses, if any are there in the what we can say balance sheet of the company or financials of the company, they should be deducted. And after that, whatever the profit which are available with the company, that can be used for the purpose of declaring the dividend. This is it for this video lecture. In the next video lecture, we will see what are the different models which are being used for the purpose of calculation of dividend policies, or what are the dividend theories, or what are the dividend concept, that is relevance and irrelevance concept. We will see in the next lecture. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.